Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanishalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. In this session, we will be discussing from the 17th verse of the 15th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sautye Vrata Kumatinatmada Ishwaro me Yat Pada Padmam Abhavaya Bhajanti Bhavya Mam Shrantavaham Arayo Rathino Bhuvishtham Na Praharan Yad Anubhava Nirasta Chittaha. The meaning of this verse is, it was by His mercy only that my enemies neglected to kill me when I descended from my chariot to get water for my thirsty horses. And it was due to my lack of esteem for my Lord that I dared engage Him as my chariot driver, for He is worshipped and offered services by the best men to attain salvation. So Arjuna is recollecting some past incidents in his intimate relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. And it is clearly established that Krishna is very, very merciful to his devotees, especially his pure devotees. He is very, very kind, very merciful, and he is ready to do anything for his devotees. So this is a good point that is being brought out by Arjuna, that Krishna, who is worshipped and offered services by the best of men to attain salvation, that Supreme Lord, Arjuna is thinking, I dared engage Him as my chariot driver. So, Srila Prabhupada explains this in the purport, little elaborately, this point. The Supreme Lord, the personality of God, Sri Krishna, is the object of worship both by impersonalists and by the devotees of the Lord. The impersonalists worship His glowing effulgence emanating from His transcendental body of eternal form, bliss and knowledge. So there are two categories of transcendentalists who are followers of the Vedanta philosophy presented by Vyasadeva. The first category are the impersonalists. So they worship the impersonal Brahman. Now what is this impersonal Brahman? This impersonal Brahman is a glowing effulgence coming out of the transcendental form of Krishna. So the impersonalists are also worshipping Krishna, but they are unable to approach the personality of Krishna because of their impersonal conception. They cannot go beyond the Brahma Jyoti or the Brahman effulgence. And Krishna says this in the Ishopanishad, it is mentioned that the Supreme Lord is his transcendental form is covered by his dazzling effulgence emanating from his transcendental form, the Brahma Jyoti or the impersonal Brahman. And here Prabhupada continues to explain the devotees, the second category of transcendentalists who are followers of the Vedanta philosophy present by Vyasadeva. They are the devotees, the bhakti yogis or the pure devotees. They worship him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They directly worship the source of everything, including the Brahman effulgence. Krishna is the source of the Brahman effulgence. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains. I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, Krishna says. And the Brahma Samhita says, Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. That primeval Lord Govinda, Krishna, Yasya prabha, his bodily effulgence is the Brahma Jyoti. So further Srila Prabhupada says, those who are below even the impersonalists consider him to be one of the great historical personalities. Apart from the Vedantists who follow the Vedanta philosophy presented by Vyasadeva, there are others also. There are other philosophers, other transcendentalists. They consider him to be one of the great historical personalities. The Lord, however, descends to attract all by his specific transcendental pastimes. Krishna is not only for the devotees or only for the transcendentalists who follow the Vedanta, which is the correct philosophy, but he is for everyone, because everyone is his part and parcel, his own. Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhutas sanatanaha sarva bhutani asheshani drakshasi atmani atomayi. So in several places in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains very carefully, sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiyaha tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita. I am the seed giving father for all the living entities who take birth in this material world at the beginning of creation. All living beings belong to me. They are mine. They are within me. They are in me. They are my own part and parcel. Eternally they are my parts. They belong to me. So, Krishna does not disown anybody. Though we may forget Krishna, we may try to be independent of Krishna, we may be neglectful of Krishna, though he is prominent in our life, even in this material world. Bhagavad Gita elaborately explains this. How Krishna is prominent in our ordinary life, even in this material world. As Paramatma, he has entered our heart, and then he is conducting all the affairs of this body. We are totally helpless in this body, because we are spirit and this body is made up of the material energy. So for us, material energy is foreign, a foreign substance. So we do not know what is this body. We do not know how to use this body. We cannot live in this body and utilize this body. But Krishna facilitates us, Paramatma. So he is active. Every moment he is active within every living being. Only then the living being can actually live in the body and utilize the body for whatever purposes the living entity wants to. So, Krishna never forsakes anybody. Krishna never disowns anybody. Krishna is never away from anyone. But we are forgetful. We means the living entities in the material world who have taken birth by force of karma are the ones who are forgetful of Krishna, are the ones who are neglecting Krishna, are the ones who are wanting to be independent of Krishna. So here Srila Prabhupada says, the Supreme Lord Krishna descends, comes down to this material world. That's when we say he incarnates, to attract all by his specific transcendental pastimes. And thus he plays the part of the most perfect master, friend, son and lover. These are the personal relationships Krishna has with his personal devotees. Perfect master, he plays the part of the master when the devotee wants to serve him as his servant. When the devotee wants to serve him as his friend, then he acts as the perfect friend. When the devotee wants to act as his father or mother, he plays the part of the perfect son. And when the devotee wants him as her beloved, then he plays the part of the perfect lover. His transcendental relation with Arjuna was in friendship, and the Lord therefore played the part perfectly as he did with his parents, lovers and wives. While playing in such a perfect transcendental relation, the devotee forgets by the internal potency of the Lord that his friend or son is a supreme personality of Godhead. Arjuna is repenting that how dare I engaged him as my chariot driver. He is a supreme Lord. But the fact is, Arjuna is made to forget that Krishna is the supreme Lord by Krishna's internal potency, Yogamaya, so that it can facilitate the intimate pastimes in Krishna's relationship with his devotees. Now, Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna wants to play the perfect part as the son or the friend or the lover, and sometimes, even though the Yogamaya covers the fact that Krishna is the Supreme Lord in his dealings with his devotees, sometimes the devotee is bewildered by the acts of the Lord. So, after the departure of the Lord, Arjuna was conscious of his great friend, but there is no mistake on the part of Arjuna. We should not think Arjuna made a big mistake by engaging Krishna as his chariot driver, nor any ill estimation of the Lord. Arjuna was not wrongly thinking that Krishna is my friend. No. Intelligent men are attracted by the transcendental acting of the Lord with a pure, unalloyed devotee like Arjuna. So it requires intelligence to understand Krishna's dealings with his pure devotees. Others who are conversant with the pure devotional philosophy, only they can appreciate Krishna's kindness, Krishna's magnanimity, Krishna's love for his devotees. Only in the pure devotional platform we can understand these dealings of Krishna. Otherwise we may mistake either that Krishna is an ordinary person, or we may wrongly think that devotees are too puffed up and proud to engage Krishna as their friend or as their son or as their lover. No, there is no mistake on the part of the devotees. Neither Krishna is an ordinary person. He retains, he is eternally the transcendental supreme personality of Godhead, but he, out of his own sweet will, he wants his devotees to serve him in an intimate way as his son or as his mother or father or lover or friend. Krishna wants that, and therefore the devotees are never at fault. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.